When I talk about Purple Cow and value proposition, one of the things I'll say is clients will say, well, we have great customer service. Customer service is not a value proposition. You have to challenge yourself when you're going to go walk into marketing and you're going to say to yourself, you know what, I'm really going to grow my business. I'm targeting revenue of $5 million. You have to step back and really challenge everyone that you work with, the whole team, and say to yourself, what is our value proposition? What is our Purple Cow? Like, what is lacking in our industry? Or what deficiencies do we have that we could attack those deficiencies and create something that really creates a true value proposition?
Hello everyone, welcome to Building a Better CAC by Commexis, a podcast dedicated to connecting the space between your revenue goals and sales and marketing initiatives. I'm Matthew McGorty, the social media content producer here at Commexis.
I'm Len Ward, the managing partner at Commexis.
So today we are continuing and in fact finishing our look into the 7 questions of the 3-to-1 in 18 process. So again, as a refresher, these are questions we ask our would-be clients first before we can truly begin helping them see marketing differently. Last episode, we covered the digital marketing investment allocation in the buyer's journey, so where you'd be spending your money and to hit your potential clients. But today we're going to be discussing something very important, which is question 7. What is my value proposition or Purple Cow? So Len, can you give me a brief look into what a value proposition or Purple Cow is?
So Purple Cow is the term that was coined by Seth Godin in the book Purple Cow. Value proposition, basically the same thing. It's what is unique to your business that gives you a competitive advantage over another competitor. What about your product or service clearly separates you from the competition to make an individual ultimately want to purchase something from you.
Okay, so why are they so important? I mean, I feel like you might have probably touched on that in the description, but
yeah.
Why are they so key for marketing's sake?
Yeah, to me, in every single thing you do in marketing and every single thing that we do at the Commexis process, this is bar none probably the single most important component of everything we do. So the thought process is, okay, if you know exactly how much money it costs you to acquire a customer, if you know where to allocate that money to find the customer, the final most important part is what is going to ultimately get that customer to convert. So you have to have those 3 things in place to truly have a successful business, to truly have a business that is something that's a game changer, that changes the conversation on everything. And when I talk about Purple Cow and value proposition, one of the things I'll say is clients will say, well, we have great customer service. Customer service is not a value proposition. Or they'll say, well, we're really fast at answering phones or getting back to people. That's not a value proposition. A value proposition or a Purple Cow is, for years, there was taxi companies driving around and you had to hail a taxi and call a taxi and blah, blah, blah. Uber changed the game by putting something on your phone, which was an app. And then obviously networked in a bunch of cars to create Uber. Blockbuster Video, you would go to Blockbuster and you would go buy your or rent your videos. Netflix has that stuff, eventually, at one point it was, sending the red envelopes to your house, but now stream it right to your house. That's a value proposition. That's a Purple Cow. So you have to step, and some people like to say, well, there's the blue ocean strategy. There's a myriad of different things you have to do, but you have to challenge yourself when you're going to go walk into marketing. And you're going to say to yourself, you know what, I'm really going to grow my business. I'm targeting revenue of $5 million. You have to step back and really challenge everyone that you work with, the whole team, and say to yourself, what is our value proposition? What is our Purple Cow? Like, what is lacking in our industry? Or what deficiencies do we have that we could attack those deficiencies and create something that really creates a true value proposition? So as they always say, again, I'm using the term blue ocean strategy, which is another great book you can read. You literally obliterate it. And it's quite honestly, it's something that Commexis has done here. So we knew deep down that a couple of the biggest pain points that happen in our industry is that no agency can sit down and have a financial conversation with a CFO. They can't, because they at the end of the day, they really don't have the experience to understand finances and how marketing ties in. We knew that there was a deficiency in one dashboard where an individual can go look at a dashboard and we had the finances and the marketing tied together. We knew that there was a lack of a common language that everyone could easily understand, like the buyer's journey. And we also knew that there was no baselines out there for an individual to say, well, how do I know if my marketing is working? And there is a process to do it. So we packaged that up. So whether clients want to work with us or not, is up to them, but we also know when we sit down with another agency, we've completely obliterated them from a competition standpoint, because all the creative and everything we do from an implementation standpoint, while very important, is good. At the end of the day, we're all really similar. But what we bring is now we've eliminated that wall between marketing and finance, and now forever again, you're never going to look at marketing the same way. You're always going to say, well, here's what it is from a financial standpoint. That's what we're asking customers and clients to do. And the reason you do that is because then your content gets easier. Every single thing you create becomes easier, because you're not like, all right, as Seth Godin says, well, I saw a hammer, they saw a hammer. Let me come up with a really cute, different way to package a really nice social media ad. It's still a hammer. Nothing's changing. So what happens when you get to that point in a business, you just run to the bottom of how much money are we going to go cheaper than the next person, which kills your CAC, which then you got to eliminate headcount, all the way down the line. The Commexis process helps you identify this type of thing. So hopefully that kind of, in a nutshell what it is, but it is really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you brought up a fantastic point about by having a purple cow, you make content easier to generate. Because when I think of the we have excellent service that you talked about, there's nothing stopping anyone, regardless of whether or not they have a good service, from saying they have excellent service. That's going to be the first thing anybody talks about or advertises, because that is kind of expected. And it's one of those things I feel where you throw it in because, of course, you want to say you have excellent service, because you're always going to have bad reviews or good reviews, unless you're a really bad business, in which case you probably have only bad reviews. But you get what I'm saying. But having something that is really unique makes it really easy to sell and show that you are different or better than the competition. I think your hammer analogy is fantastic, because at the end of the day, like when you're looking at hammers, you're probably thinking, okay, what are they made of? Things like that. Things that can be differentiators. And if you're not thinking of that, then you really are just selling something to hit nails with. Yep. And there's nothing unique about one hammer to another if that's the base of what you're
No, there's not. I mean, there's a million different ways Purple Cow. I mean, there's a million different companies you look at it. But if you go look at the companies that have really separated themselves, like an Apple, like a Salesforce, and again, I'm not looking for potential clients to become the next Apple or Salesforce, although that would be great. We'd all make a lot of money. But but it's really stepping back and saying, what really can I do to make this different? Because that is one of the main parts about our process. And at the end of the day, it is one of the main parts about what you're doing in marketing and sales. So it is an extremely critical part that literally just gets totally bypassed, every single year. And it's like, yeah, well, we're going to come out with new products, or let's make a focus on this, or hey, we're going to do a new special, or you're still not changing. Change the conversation, change the game. When you walk in with a competitor and it's your bid versus their bid, it's not even going to be a debate about who they're going to choose from. That's how you need to start looking at things and having a value proposition and a purple cow. And
if a business doesn't have a purple cow or a value proposition at the moment, do you have any advice for them to find one? Is there
one of the best things I think that they could do, and I do recommend this a lot, and we're actually certified in this. We haven't really rolled it out as a product, but my advice to an individual who doesn't have a purple cow is go read the Blue Ocean strategy. Read the book. Understand the process of what the Blue Ocean strategy is. The Blue Ocean strategy will help you create that value proposition or help you create that purple cow. It may be uncomfortable, but it will help you do that. That's one thing you can do. The second thing you can do is, if that's just not realistic and we don't have a purple cow and we're all the same, then I think, again, if you do market the right way, your sales process is strong, and if you do lean on the buyer's journey and understand where you have to allocate your money, yes, you can be successful. Let's call it the way it is. When you go to like certain types of business, like automotive repair, heating, air condition, it's going to be really difficult to emerge as a purple cow. Now I'm sure there's a million different things. Heating, air conditioning could probably have an app, and you could, something's wrong with my heater, and you'll know a week away. But I think if you kind of lean on something like that, I think that would work. I think the number one thing about the value proposition of purple cow and why it's so important is because I believe as our industry as a whole moves closer to automation, moves closer to financial metrics and the understanding of how finance works within marketing, and that you're making decisions. Yes, creativity still exists. Yes, that stuff still happens, but it's going to be finance-driven type decisions with AI automation. So much so to the point, like I've mentioned to you before, where I've seen products out there now that will actually crawl your website and develop full ad creative campaigns, ad copy campaigns. They're in the embryonic stages, but I'm like, that's insanity to think about that for a minute. You still need the individual art director, and he or she needs to still have that. That's still the human mind. But as we move to that completely automated place, it's going to make companies, it's going to force you to be, and I can't think of that term, it's going to force you to be, to where you have to create new things to survive. You have to create new things to live.
That would be ingenuity.
Okay, so it's going to create that ingenuity where as the playing field gets leveled by automation, by understanding the financial metrics, which is exactly where we're going, it's a good thing that it's going to create tremendous ingenuity amongst a lot of different companies. If you're one of the first companies out there who embraces that, understands that, and that you constantly are looking for that value proposition or purple cow to separate yourself, you'll be one of those companies that push yourself forward. That's why we recommend it. That's why we're asking for companies to think about it. And you can use things like the Blue Ocean Strategy, which is a great thing to go about it. But even if you can't do the Blue Ocean Strategy, by the way, there's a book and like an online seminar. It's very affordable. If you can't do something like that, at least it's going to have you start thinking in ways you've never thought about before. So rather than thinking about, I'm going to do a 20% off discount today, you're going to start saying, historically the pain point for Mr. or Mrs. Jones who getting their heating and air conditioning done is this. I think I may have an idea that's going to eliminate that pain point, eliminate client pain points, and stop focusing on, I'm just going to charge less and race to the bottom. The quickest way to build a great company and to make a lot of money is to eliminate somebody's problem. You eliminate somebody's problem that really impedes on their daily life, they are going to pay you good money to make sure that that problem has been resolved. And I think that is what a purple cow and that is what a value proposition is, and I think that is where our industry is moving towards, which to me is kind of cool because we're not going to be so buried on where am I ranking and what are my impressions. It's going to be like, wow, these companies are just inventing new and cool stuff to make my life a lot easier. Hopefully that made sense. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think absolutely made sense. So that's all for today's episode of Building a Better CAC. Check us out on Commexis.com, YouTube, and anywhere you get your podcasts, and follow us on Twitter @Commexis. Thanks for listening.